Hey guys, quickly before the video starts, I just wanted to thank everyone for all the support I've been getting over the last few months on my channel. We've just hit 7,000 subs this week and I'm super grateful. We're now very close to hitting the 10k sub mark, but there's still a large majority of people watching my videos that aren't subscribed. So if you're watching this video and you enjoy watching my content, please consider hitting that subscribe button and helping me reach that milestone. Also, this video is a little different than my usual scripted video essays and is more of a discussion I had with a friend. Please let me know if you enjoy this style of video and whether or not you want to see more videos like it in the future. Besides that, I've been working on my Why Everybody Plays Sage video and it should be ready for next Friday and it's gonna be a good one. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Hope you enjoy the video. What's up guys, Jitterz here. Welcome back to another video. Today I have my immortal friend Archer with me. He's a Sova main and today we plan to talk about KO, how well he did in the last VCT qualifiers. Today we're going to be going into a deep dive of how well he did in that tournament as well as how strong we think he is in a solo queue environment. So Archer, if you want to go ahead. Oh.
Archer here.
Yep, so what's up? So first we're going to start off talking about just our general thoughts on the character in terms of solo queue. So if you want to go first, give your opinions, Archer, you go right ahead.
So KO, when it comes to solo queue, I think he's not too strong, not too weak. I think he's very balanced. When he first came out, people were getting mad because they didn't understand that his knife was shootable. Yeah. So the fact you can shoot his knife now, like people understand you can shoot his knife now, makes it a little easier to verse him. But when he first came out, I had little struggles versing him. All my util wasn't being used properly. Half the team is being noticed right away. It's just, you gotta get used to it. It's like hiding from a Sova dart, now it's a knife. Or like shooting a Sova dart, but instead of it's a knife, right? And when it comes to how strong he is, he's comparable to Phoenix, but he gives you a little bit more info. Like he's like a Sova Phoenix combination in my opinion, because he has a molly like Phoenix, he has two flashes like Phoenix, he has a run it back almost like Phoenix, because it's the same thing essentially, except it's like a Call of Duty revive. And then his knife is the most unique part about him. It's comparable to a Sova dart, except you can't hide from it at all. If you're in that zone, you get scanned instantly and you can't use your abilities. Yeah. So he's pretty good. I'd say he's one of the upper ranks when it comes to agents. Yeah, it's pretty much my thoughts on him when it comes to solo play. He's pretty good. Play for yourself, play for your team. Yeah, he's good overall.
Yeah, I agree. I think because I'm trying to think of the last few characters that were released. I think, who's the last character? I want to say Yoru. Who was before Yoru? I don't even remember. We had Yoru, and before Yoru we had Astra and Yoru, which both of those characters, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think really shook up the meta or like were honestly playable for a large majority of people. I know a lot of people like to play Yoru, but
Yoru wasn't like he didn't shake the meta at all, but Astra did immensely.
In solo queue though,
immensely.
In solo queue, it was like the highest ranks played her a lot, but besides that, she was out for 2 weeks. People tried her and they stopped. But I think KO is the first agent in basically in the last few months that's come out, and people I think still kind of play him, and I still see him a decent amount of the time.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. He's way easier to play than in Astra. But when it comes to Astra, it's kind of like the Viper situation. It just takes longer for people to understand how to use her kit and play her. Yeah, and the longer the game's out, the more Astras you'll be seeing, even in the lower ranks. It just takes time for people to get used to her kit. Because Astra is an extremely meta-changing character, and a lot of pro players use her. She's used on a bunch of maps.
Even after the nerf, she's still up there. But I think
she's very good.
I don't want to get too off topic because again we are trying to talk about your KO. But again, I was gonna say I do agree with a lot of your points. I do think KO is kind of strong. The one thing too about his knife is you can shoot it, but a lot of the times people throw it on the other side of walls, and there's really like not too much counterplay when it comes to that. But then again, I think it depends really, like he kind of just makes you play differently, right? So I think a lot of times in pro play, they'll do a lot more of like retakes on sites, so they don't play on site as often. Whereas in solo queue, it's a lot more like playing on site, you know what I mean? So because of that, KO is a lot stronger, where he can throw a knife on site, turn off like a Killjoy or Cypher or someone that's playing on there, and then your whole team can just walk on and run over whoever's playing on site when they don't have util up. Which I think makes him feel a lot stronger in solo queue sometimes, especially in like the average to lower ranks. I don't know, that's my thought. I don't know if you agree or disagree with that, but
Yeah, no, I agree with most of what you said. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. All right, let's get on to the next point. So the next thing we're going to talk about is kind of what we saw from the tournament. So what we like the maps we saw him on, like what role he took, stuff like that. So first
Okay, so
off,
for what I saw, right, is the teams that used them were Cloud9, Dark Zero, Ghost Gaming, Sonics, Andbox, and BBG. Like those were the most notable teams that used them. And the maps that he was used on the most were Haven and Split and sometimes Icebox. And then you'd also see him on Ascent as well. Um, and when it comes to what role he was playing, it seemed like he was filling as that secondary duelist initiator. Like there's always a Sova and a KO combination, or a Sky and a KO combination, right? In BBG's case, they actually did a triple initiator combination as well. Because with KO's kit, he could be a duelist and initiator at the same time. He's a hybrid. That's what makes him unique, and that's what makes him really fun to play.
Yeah, I definitely seen him. I think Ascent I'm pretty sure Ascent was the most common map we saw him on, and I think they played him most like Ascent. I think Cloud9 played him there. Dark Zero played him there.
No, his kit's just perfect for Ascent. Just because there's an A main and a B main. There's also Cat, and there's also walls there.
Yeah,
hiding behind it. You can always throw your knife, and you'll always get someone in that area usually if you time it correctly. So his knife's actually extremely important.
Yeah, I think a lot of times too what we saw was I saw a lot of on attack, especially the KO would throw his knife into tree, and then usually they would, take that info, find who's playing there, wait, and then when they're ready to hit a site, they usually go when the knife's back up again, and then go with that, hit something with that knife, and then go on the whichever site they decide to attack. I think I saw a decent amount of teams do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's because his knife gives out a lot of info. If you throw that knife tree, you instantly know that if someone's there or if no one's there. If no one's there, you can do a fast rush into tree, throw smoke down, right? Sova could save his dart for actual site instead of throwing it tree or anywhere else.
I was gonna say
it's just it makes Sova's job a little easier into where he needs to throw his dart.
Yeah, because now you can knife early, find which site somebody's on, and then if you guys want to hit the other site because you don't want to push like the Killjoy or whatever, you can go to the other site and still have Sova dart up for it, which is I think a big thing too. Also on defense, I think I saw him played in tree a lot. I think that was the main spot he was played, which is kind of like, again, like we said, he would replace like a Phoenix, which is kind of where Phoenix usually plays. So I think he's kind of taking that spot for a lot of teams.
I just don't see the pro play, especially. I don't see the point of having a Phoenix on your team because I think KO's better overall. His kit's overall better.
Yeah.
Right. He has flashes that are like CS:GO pop flashes. Yeah. Right. Also, some of yours flash as well. He has his running back, like I said before, same ult.
Yeah.
He has a molly just like him as well. And then his information. He's just overall better for defaulting.
Yeah.
Better for executing. He shuts down the enemy's team when it comes to utility.
I was also gonna say I think his ult was very strong. I think as well. A lot of times like teams would push through his ult. He's basically like the Phoenix ult where he goes in first. He takes first contact. If he dies, you trade the kill, and then you can just res him for free, basically, which is a nice thing from his ult.
He has more value than Phoenix ult, just because.
Yeah, it turns off
the problem with Phoenix ult. The problem with Phoenix ult, when the whole team executes and you leave Phoenix ult behind, his body's there and is vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right, and it usually gets messed up afterwards. You can chase it, you can go behind it, all that stuff. But KO's different. He already has like almost 1 million HP. Right, once he dies, he takes forever to kill. It's not worth it to shoot his body because people will shoot you back, right? And all of people's abilities get nullified, right? For 12 seconds in total because there's 4 shocks on his ultimate. So his ult is actually way more valuable than Phoenix's ult in pro play, especially.
Yeah, one thing I did see though that was kind of a negative, I'd say, it was kind of funny actually, was the when C9 played him. They took KO, walked through B site, walked towards stairs with Sage, and because you know how when you there's like that big like kind of like ray that comes off of him, and you can from the middle, so that shows people what the like range is for disabling. The Killjoy's playing CT, and he saw that ray and shot through a smoke, killed him and the Sage in a couple bullets, so got him a free kill, which is kind of funny that it actually backfired one time, but.
Yeah, yeah, no. The thing with KO is that it gives up your positioning, like,
Yeah.
because you could tell where it's coming from. That's the only bad part.
Yeah.
But and even if you shift walk, it still gives up your positioning. Unlike Phoenix, like if you shift walk, you have no idea where he is.
Yeah.
You time it weird, all that type of stuff. Yeah, that's the only negative I'd say that's out of the result.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a full man, 5-man rush, it does not matter. Like that's really, it's not that significant.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think that's everything we want to talk about in terms of the tournament. We're gonna just go into his individual abilities, talk about how we feel about them and like how strong they are. We've kind of talked or brushed up a little bit on each one, but we're just gonna go a little more in depth. So we'll start with his knife. So again, we talked about how we think it's strong, but if there's anything else you want to talk about it, now would be the time.
Personally, I think it needs a nerf. I think the knife should be similar to Sova Dart, where if you're behind a wall, it does not scan you, but it needs to change a little bit. I think it needs bounces, just like a Sova Dart as well.
Yeah.
So you give it 2 bounces, you can charge it up and throw it in certain ways. So now it gives it, it's kind of cool because now you can do crazy lamps across the map. It's not gonna land in weird places.
Yeah.
Or with the bounces, now it's more higher skill gap as well. Because the knife's kind of OP. You just throw it anywhere against the wall and it'll scan anyone. You can't even shoot it back.
Yeah,
it's kind of broken.
And the thing is, well, the problem is that Sova's Dart also has you can choose the power. So would you be able to do that with the knife? Is my question. I don't know.
Yeah. It'd be the same mechanic.
Because if it's that same mechanic and you are already a Sova main, you can kind of, that skill would kind of just transfer over if you know all those lineups already, and you've already kind of like learned how to use his darts. So I think that too that'd be a very cool change, and definitely would increase that kind of the skill cap of him, but make it harder for somebody to just pick him up, throw a knife on a site, and turn everything off. You know what I mean? So definitely adds to that counterplay as well, because now you can't throw it across like other side of a wall, so where it's like unshootable, which I think definitely.
Yeah, it's broken. Like if you're a Cypher on Bind, you're anchoring B site and you're playing inside tube.
Oh, you're done. You can't play the game.
Or in that tube area, I just throw my knife on top of that and you're done. All your trips are gone, your camera's off, you're just done.
Yep, and they know you're on
enter
site.
for free.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah, now you're playing CS:GO with no util. Like that's what happens, right? So.
So anyways, that's enough for his knife, I think, unless you have something else you wanted to bring up.
But that's pretty much it, man. It's pretty good.
Yeah, all right. Well, so next thing we'll talk about is Flash. His pop flash I think it has the same duration of like Breach and Sky Flash, like the Initiator class. So it's a little better in terms of length than like Phoenix or like Yoru.
So the problem with this Flash, from what I'm seeing, is low elo have no idea how to use it.
Yeah, I had no idea at all.
Mid elo still don't have no idea how to use it. Unless you've played CS or you understand the concept where you should lobby your flash and peek with your flash.
Yeah, where it's like above your head.
Right?
Yeah.
Not even above your head. It could be behind you as well.
Yeah.
So you get half flashed and they get full flashed, right?
Yeah.
What it does, it makes the enemy team, or the person you're fighting, have either 2 options: either A, turn around, or B, right, take the fight and get fully flashed mid fight unless you get the full headshot.
Yep. For sure.
So it's either you turn around or you fight, and if you whiff even the slightest bit, you're getting full flash, you're gonna die because the person who's fighting using half flashed.
Yeah, for sure. Because another thing too with that is that they actually decrease the amount that you're like half flash. So if it's behind you, the flash is actually way less this episode than it was last episode. And I think it was
strictly because of KO.
Strictly because of KO, and I think too that. Because Phoenix, how we're talking about how he replaces him, he has more of that playstyle now too, where I've been seeing a lot more of like unique flashes where you flash like underneath him, so the flash is below him out of his line of sight, or behind him, and it's that same mechanic where that's kind of how you have to use it now. And I think that's how you have to use his left click as well. His left click, I think, is especially that one in low elo. I don't even know who uses that, to be honest. Like, yeah, I don't know if you can explain how it's used, because I honestly have no idea how to use the left click on the flash. If you
like the lob,
like the lob, yeah. Like I'm not sure how that one's used.
I'm pretty sure that's the right click.
No, left click. No, the lob is the one that's obvious, where you flash it around the corner, flash it above your head, flash it.
Oh, you're talking about the left click
where
you
you throw it, yeah. Explain that one.
Well, it depends how you want to use it. There's a billion angles you use it. It's like Yoru. You either throw it up high, because the thing with this flash is kind of different. Yoru's, it takes forever for it to pop in midair. It has to hit off the surface, right? But with this one, it actually has a couple second countdown right before it actually explodes.
Yeah.
So you can do the craziest things with flash. You can throw it straight up in the sky. It'll flash everyone. You could throw it off a wall.
Yeah.
Lineups with it. So like you could throw it. It times perfectly where your jet could dash in, kind of like breach.
Oh, I see.
There's so many variations of how you could use that flash. I can go on it for like days almost. But the left click is more so like if you're trying to flash from a farther distance, flash around a corner that's like too far for a lob, right? Or team flash for your team. But the lob is more so like a 1v1 situation. You lob it on the corner, you peek right away with your flash. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Because as I said before, it's not like an instantaneous flash like Phoenix. It kind of takes a little longer to pop. So if you just lobby it around the corner, most of the time, if the enemy team is on the open and they're close to a wall, they're just gonna dodge it really, really easily. Yeah. Right. What needs to happen is that you need to peek with your flash, right? And you gain space from that if they do move back, and if you peek with your flash as well. As before, you make that weird situation where it's like, hey, do they turn around or do they take the fight? If they whiff, now they're fully blind. I get the free kill. Right?
Yep, for sure. Makes a lot of sense. So what about, because we compared it to like a Phoenix, but what about something like a breach? So for example, I find like if somebody's behind a box and you're KO, it's really hard to flash him, which is like the same problem as someone like a Phoenix, right? Where if they're behind the box and you want to push. Whereas if you're playing like breach, you can just flash the box itself, and if they're behind it, they're like screwed, right?
Yeah. Breach flash is way harder to dodge. And it's a lot easier to use for sure. Right? But the problem with breach flash, usually before, you need a wall. Right? You can't just throw in air. You can't throw it anywhere you want. It's not as versatile as KO's flash. And also they have different roles, right? Like breach doesn't have like that duelist feel like KO does. Yeah. You know, people do play breach like a duelist, but he's not a duelist, let's be honest. Yeah. But KO does have that duelist feel. Like his whole kit almost feels like a duelist except for his knife. Yeah. Yep. That makes sense. It's breach does win in that sense, but that's why KO's balanced. He does have flaws, and he is a higher skill gap character. Yeah. When it comes to that ability.
So I think that's all for the flash. The next thing we're talking about is his molly. I think his molly's I think it's strong. I mean, it's a molly. I think mollies are always like strong, right?
But it's one of the most annoying mollies I've ever versed in my entire life.
Yeah, why is that?
Why it makes so much noise. The first thing, it makes so much noise. So much noise where I'm in game, and I play at pretty high volume just because I like to hear footsteps. But I'm in game, and I'm trying to hear footsteps and I hear the molly go off. I don't know, and I can't tell the jet dashed in sometimes, this or that. It's insane. So it's really annoying because it's super loud. It lasts a pretty decent amount of time. It does a stupid amount of damage, right? Yeah. And there's insane lineups for it already. Like, insane lineups. Like, if you're a Killjoy, you try going B against a KO, so it doesn't have to ult your ult anymore. You can just throw a molly. Yeah. You can literally just throw a molly and it destroys your ult. One molly instead of wasting 2 shocks or an ult. Yeah. It's so much more valuable. It's only, what, $200? Or 200 credits, I mean?
Yeah, 200 credits, I think.
200 credits, it can destroy Killjoy ult. Insane. I have to spend 300 with 2 shock darts to destroy it. It has 2 shock darts that do 90 each.
And it's yeah, the thing is too, it's one of those mollies where you can't even like hold a bomb to half if it's there. Like if like on like
you can't.
Yeah, because it does too much damage. If you're in the middle, it's like 60 damage per like shock up to 4 shocks, so it'll kill you in 3, right? So
yeah, so you shock, you try getting out for the half, but the radius is so big on it, you're dead.
Yeah, you're dead. You can't do anything. Yeah, it's I think it's one of the stronger mollies. In my opinion, I agree. I honestly never thought about the sound of it being a big issue, but now you bring it up, it is kind of loud. But that's actually very cool to think about. That's a very cool perspective I didn't think about.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, when it comes to this game, information is probably the most important thing. The more information you have, right, better chance of you winning that game. Because hypothetically, if you're in a certain rank, you're in a gold lobby, right? Everyone around you is gold as well. You roughly have all the same aim, right? You roughly have all the same game sense, right? Now it's a game of information and who's hitting their shots. That's it. Yeah. Right? The more information you have, right, you can dictate the whole game based off information.
Yep. I got that. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's a big part of the game.
Yeah, and if you have something hindering sounds like that, like it's so loud, you can't tell who this person is. When that the comms are a little messed up and shaky. Like I don't know. It's just for me though. I maybe I'm getting too into how loud it is, but I think it's stupidly loud.
Yeah, it seems like you have a vendetta against this Molly, but yeah, that's I think that's everything for the Molly. For my point, everything I want to talk about. I don't know about you if you have anything else you want to bring up, or if we want to get right to the ult last thing.
Well, the only thing I'm really saying is that it saves hassle for other agents to destroy certain things. You know, just because you have that Molly.
Yeah.
Right. It's a really good Molly. Like I'm a Silva main, and when I have a kill on my team and he has those lineups, I don't have to use my ability to use him somewhere else. It's a life changer.
Yeah. So last thing we want to talk about is the ult. So the ult's got it's 4 pings. It's 12 seconds long. He turns off util for basically the entire 12-second duration. Plus, if you're hit by the last wave, it's an extra like 3-4 seconds, I think. And then if you kill him while he's ulting, you get down instead of dying, and you can be res. So it's really nice, as we talked about, kind of like a Phoenix ult where he pushes in first, he dies, but you trade him out, and then you can res him basically for free.
Yeah, and he pushes the team, so the spacing's not off. Because sometimes with Phoenix ult, you go all the way back to where you were.
Yeah.
And then you're getting jet knife from behind.
Yeah, or you have to like and you have to like re-push on a site, or you're just gonna be watching flank this round basically from where you were. Yeah. And
well, the biggest part is mostly the spacing, right? Because even in pro play, in any play in general, you Phoenix ult, and then you get back, you're dead. Yeah. You know, with this, it's like the whole team's like technically protecting your body, like you're there.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. We talked about it offensively, how strong it is, but what do you feel about it defensively?
It's just good for delay.
Yeah, delay, but we also talked about it gives away your position. So how does that kind of factor in to the overall, like, you know, strength of that in defense?
Most of the time, you want to use it to either delay, right, or when they're just with the execute. So half their utility is being used, and the other half's not being used, and they're forced to come in or they're baiting. So the perfect time to use it, in my opinion, is let's say, for example, an enemy team is doing a B rush on Ascent, right? And they have a Reyna or a Phoenix or anyone with a flash. Usually that flasher or Jet's gonna dash in, right? That's the first thing that's gonna happen. Let that happen, then ult, and then after that, zero util can be used. So with dart, all the other stuff can't be used anymore, right? So when they're coming in bare, right? Yeah. Or maybe actually you want to. It depends on the comp. There's a lot of things that are indicators to when they're gonna initiate. And so the dart could be the indicator to initiate, so you ult the moment the dart goes up. Yeah. Right. So now people can't dash in and flash in, so they're forced to just run in. Right.
Yeah. Smokes, I think, is a big one.
Yeah, because you don't want to use it too early, and the reason for that is because if you use it too early, they're just gonna wait 8 seconds or 12 seconds, how long it is, and then just go in afterwards. Cut noise and just go in. Yeah. Right. If your team didn't already get the map control, right, early on, and push up, and you guys are still playing a default, and they're still in B main, but they cut noise, right? And you guys have no information, right? They can just re-hit with all the util they still have. So what you want to do with this KO ult is essentially like in the middle of the hit, or like in the very initial indicator that they're gonna do the hit, either the Sova dart, or if indicators the Reyna flash, or the Phoenix flash, the Jet dash, one of those things, you use the ult instantly after one of those indicators. Yeah. So then now they're forced to push in, or they're baiting their teammates. And if they do bait their teammates, that means whoever's on site has to fight a 2v4 or 2v3, right? And most of the time they're going to lose, right? Because they can't escape. Like Jet can't use her smokes. Reyna can't use her dismisses. Like the duelists will usually die unless they just out-aim everyone. The ult's really, 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 really good on Ascent because ulting onto A site or B site covers almost the entire vicinity. It's really good on Haven as well, because Haven sites are kind of small, and it's really good on Split.
Splits also kind of have those small sites. What about Icebox? We did see him on Icebox. I feel like
he's amazing on A. He's amazing on A. On B, good, right? On B, his ult's
probably not that good. Yeah, I would.
It's not that good, but the reason why you want him on Icebox is it's a pretty big map. You want as much information as possible. You know. Yeah. Hit that Viper. So a lot of people play Viper on B on Icebox, and it's good to hit Viper with that knife, just so she can't delay the push with her mollies or her smokes. And 8 seconds is probably how long it takes for you guys to run in,
get on site,
get on site, wall it off, and plant the bomb. And she can't use any mollies at that time.
Yeah, that's actually big. big point too. I think one thing we didn't really mention is about the biggest counters of who it. I know his util in terms of his knife and his ult. They do counter everybody because they turn off the util, but I think the strongest, or I think the people or the agents that KO is the strongest against, in my opinion, are like Sentinels, Sova, and like probably duelists.
Support characters.
Yeah. So
characters that use their util mostly for their team.
Yeah. So like the big util users. So, because I think like for example, someone like Reyna, it's like she can't dismiss, which kind of sucks. But if she takes, like at the end of the day, she. If it's a 1v1, she didn't have her util anyways. If she just wins that fight, it is definitely a big disadvantage without her flashes and stuff. But compared to someone like compared to someone like Sova, where it's like you drone, and the second you throw your drone, bam, you turned off and you lose it. Holy, a free ability, you lost 400 credits. That's crazy. Or if you're turned off,
no, that's tilter. That's a huge tilter. Yeah.
Or if you're like a Sentinel and they turn you off, like if they turn you off and they're on defense. And let's say you're like Cypher or like Killjoy and you put up a turret or you put trips up. Let's say trips on Cypher makes a lot more sense. If they turn you off, someone could start flanking A and push through the trips while they're off in that 8 seconds, which is a big thing. Or like especially on defense, if you turn off like a Cypher or a Killjoy and they were playing on
he's
site.
insane. He's insane. He messes up Sage. He messes up Cypher, Killjoy, Sova, Raze. Because Raze is used to either stop a push or create space with her util.
Yeah.
Right?
And turning off her ult
satchels too. If she can't turn off her ult too. And she messes up Jet heavy. Because with Jet, she's not like Reyna where it's like, oh, it's only aim, blah blah. Jet has so much utility.
Yeah.
Right? Give her an advantage when it comes to height differences or smoking yourself off multiple times to cause confusion of where you are. Or creating space with your jet dash, or escaping with your jet dash, or having your knives out, right? On an eco, you have your knives away for 8 seconds during the hit, and you're supposed to be the person like going in and getting kills and getting the guns for your teammates, right? On the eco, and you don't have your knives up for 8 seconds. It's huge. It's huge. Like he is a big counter to a lot of agents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I agree with the jet thing too. Is a huge thing. If you like put a couple smokes in and you dash on site and he turns you off, or like even if you just walk in somewhere or like he turns you off, and now especially if you're holding some aggressive angle, you can't dash away anymore. It's like it's like
tradable. You're 100% tradable.
Yeah, it's like that huge Jet, like the big thing that makes Jet so strong of like her being untradeable is like gone, and it's like a big thing I think. So I don't know. Anyways, I think that's all for this video. I think unless you have any more last minute points you want to bring up.
Well, we answered the question. Is he meta defining?
Oh, in my opinion, I think in terms of his strength, I don't think he's so overpowered, but I do think he's meta defining because I think if a KO is in your lobby, you have to play differently. And I think because of that, I'd say he kind of. So if you see a KO, you have to change your play style around it. So in that sense, I think he is.
It's just there's a lot of interesting combinations you can do like with him. Like he makes 5-man hitting a site so much easier with his ultimate.
Yeah.
Because you can't slow it down. Like you can't use util essentially unless you do perfect timing and stuff. Even if it's just hard. Like for example, let's say you on split, right? You have a Killjoy and a KO on your team. Killjoy uses ult on B, and then after 4 seconds of the Killjoy ult, because after 4 seconds most people leave the ultimate. Right, and make sure they're far away. KO uses ult after that. That's another 12 seconds you can't hit. Now that's like literally 16 to 20 seconds of time you can't be on the site, and they're on the site, and the bomb's already planted, and they're situated, and you're not even close there, right? Because you want to retake it with your abilities, right? So it's just pretty insane the combinations you can do with 5-man hitting with KO or 4-man hitting with KO. It makes it a lot easier.
So is he meta defining?
He is meta defining just because he changes the way the game's played when it comes to his sites. That's and how defaults work nowadays. You have to like slow it down or watch out for that. Like you can't. It's a little different. Mm-hmm. It's like having an extra dual Sova on your team. But he's not like an Astra. Right? He's not like one of those characters that came out and just changed up the whole meta. Mm-hmm. But he has, for sure, has his maps, for sure has his uses.
Yeah.
And I think he replaces Phoenix 100%. I don't see a point of having a Phoenix when you have KO, to be honest. It just doesn't make sense in my head.
Yeah, I agree. Anyways, I think that's all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like. Also, leave any comments letting us know what you think, whether you agree, disagree with any of our points. And yeah, just hit that subscribe button for more Valorant related content.
Hit it, please. Jitterz is the best.